make you the presenter, Tracy, and you will be asked when that happens if you want to share your screen, and you will also, oh, well done, you are now unmuted as well. Can you hear us, Tracy?
Yeah, I can hear you. You can hear me?
We can hear you. Hello, hello.
Yeah, hello.
So quick little intro for Tracy. So Tracy is one of the coaches here at the Aussie Online Entrepreneurs. She's also one of the coaches and team leaders for our Battle of the Business. Her particular team is going great guns, doing really, really good things. I can't wait to see the outcome and the sales results from all of the Battle of the Business teams. It's going to be very, very exciting, December 31 for that. And Tracy, what are you going to talk about tonight?
Well, tonight I'm going to just give a quick presentation with regards to coming up with a logo, but more specifically a branding document with regards to the colors that you choose and the variation of colors to put in a brand document.
Wonderful. All right, well, you take it away and the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you. So the reason I decided to come up with this presentation is I've got obviously a number of clients doing their product discovery sessions and my diamond clients, and being at the very beginning of their journey, they obviously want to talk about their logo, what colors to put in their logo. And when you look at some of the big brands that we know, they obviously have their logo colors, but they also have a brand document which sort of expands on those colors, and they use those colors then consistently throughout their social media, their marketing, their website, media kits, all that kind of stuff. So I just thought I'd show some examples of that, and then at the end there's some links there that I'm not too sure if you'll be able to put them in the chat, or I can actually just post the slides of this presentation somewhere in the AOE group for everybody to
Maybe that's a good idea. We'll post it in the AOE group, Tracy.
Yeah, not a problem. All right, so let's get started. So just to give you an idea of the information I have here is the experience I had in one of my previous lives, not the last previous life, but a few years ago I used to actually own a printing business, and specifically there we used to do the promotional printing. So it was all about putting company logos on various products, whether it was pens, coffee mugs, paper bags, drink bottles, all that kind of stuff. It was all about logo printing. So that's where I got my experience from there. And then having that business, I had to obviously teach myself all about artwork and Pantone colors and different programs such as Illustrator and CorelDRAW. And obviously more recently being in the Amazon business, using Canva as well for that kind of stuff. So the most common thing with regards to logos is and the business that I had was the specific information we were given when we had to print somebody's logo. So they didn't just say, okay, we want you to print red and yellow. They had to actually give us a specific Pantone color or a specific hex number. In the printing industry, we dealt with Pantone colors and was able to match it exactly with what their brand was. Most logos you'll see are actually just one or two colors, and depending on what we actually printed on, we would print for a particular big mining company, for example, and their brand color would actually change depending on what we were printing on, but that brand color was still in keeping with that particular company's brand guidelines. So they have it very specific, the range of colors, and this is where I'm talking about the extension of just your logo colors. you have the extension leading into the brand there. So some things they would consider is whether their logo was just going to be on its own. So for example, the Nike tick or the Nike name, you know, so you can have both versions of that logo and name, or just the logo. All right, so I'm just going to show you some examples of some of the popular brands. So there's the Nike one, for example. We all recognize the Nike and the Adidas. There you've got the brand name as well as the brand logo. These are just showing the one color versions. And of course, Coca-Cola there. Virgin, again, their brand is the name Virgin. And they've got very specific brand information with regards to that, the style of that Virgin, and then the extension to that, like the Virgin Australia, Virgin Mobiles, that kind of stuff. There's just a couple more. Starbucks, we all recognise that, and of course Apple, very popular there. Now, just quickly showing you the Amazon one. Believe it or not, these are the variety of Amazon since they started. I think this here is the original Amazon, and you can see there it's gone through 1998, and then to the latest one there on the bottom right with the little smile, and everybody now recognises, of course, the Amazon brand and the smile underneath it. If you saw that smile on its own, you would know it's an Amazon one. Okay, so all of these brands will actually have a brand document, and you can actually find a lot of these online. And later on in the presentation, towards the end, I'll give you a link which has got, I think it's got about 30 different big brand documents in there for you to look at. And in that brand document, amongst other things, we've got the colours, obviously, and again, you've got the hex number and a Pantone number. Now, if you're unsure, you can always, if you have a Pantone colour, and again, I've got the link towards the end there, you can always Google as to what the relevant hex number is, because some companies prefer to have the hex number, some prefer to have the Pantone number. When you use Canva, you put in a hex number there, you can put in your own colours in there. When you're dealing with suppliers, I've found myself that they want a Pantone colour. So in your brand document, you just sort of list the both of them. And again, the brand name, the size of it will also go in your brand document. And like with the Nike, whether you have two versions of it, you have the logo on its own, or you have the two together always or separate. Your brand document will also cover your font, which is your typeface. And this is mainly used like in your website, some marketing material, you'll have a particular font type there. There's not really enough time for me to go into fonts at this stage, but generally I think the most popular, especially for website, is like a sans serif font, which, if you know the difference, there's a serif font which has the kind of little decorative little feet hanging off the words kind of thing, whereas the sans serif is just a straight, more easy to read when you've got a fair bit of text like in a website and stuff. So the serif you can still use on, you know, some kind of promotional material there. And also in your brand document, just looking at the variation of colours, and I'll go into that with some more examples in a second. But if you see there, for example, having you know, a version of a white, if you're going to be printing on a black background, that kind of stuff as well. So let's have a look. So here's your Amazon. So just to show you a couple of different ways here, you've got the rectangular version with the smiley face underneath, of course, and then you've got the square version with just the letter A in there. So this again just all is different variations that you would put in your brand document, so they're there to use as appropriate depending on what you're printing on. And then you'll see the middle square one there where they've got the white A and the yellow tick. That's what I was just saying a second ago about a white version going on a black background. Also, Amazon Prime, they have, again, as part of their brand, a very specific blue that they use for this occasion. So, you know, this is where you can start thinking about different colour variations, different areas of your brand. Another example here is one that when I had the printing business, we used to print thousands and thousands of products for Edith Cowan University, and it's not so easy as a promotional printer to print the 3 colours, but that's not what all they had. So they've got, obviously, those C numbers that you see there. Oops, sorry, gone past it. They're the Pantone numbers. That's what you'll find when you look at the Pantone website. Here's the other variations they have, again, as part of their brand. Very specific colours. So they've got the black, the blue, cerise, reddy, pinky colour, and then an orangey yellow. And then just going to what I was saying at the beginning, this is their white version of when we used to have products with that were black. We used to print on like black calculator covers and stuff like that. They'd have to have that variation to cover that kind of printing and that kind of promotion. All right. Also, we used to consider the likelihood of a colour changing on the print surface. So you can see here you've got a bright yellow, and then the yellow turns into almost like a greeny colour. Excuse me, I'm just going to have a drink. So if you've got yellows in your logo, it's not a problem. You just make sure you speak to your printer and your supplier, just to make sure that colour is not going to turn out a dirty green colour, whatever you're going to print on. All right, so things to consider when creating your brand. How many colours you're going to have in your logo. And like I say, most you'll find are 1 or 2 colours, but it's not essential. If you have a full colour logo, generally, you know, you might find a nice colourful logo if you're in, say, the kids niche, but still consider having 1 or 2 colour versions of that particular full colour brand. Then, like I say, yeah, the single colour versions there. And generally, if you'll find, speaking to your printers, they'll want to know how many colours they're going to be printing, and obviously the more colours in your logo, the brand, then the more expensive it's going to be. And then also consider that reverse logo, like I said, white on black and black on white version for that. And then when you have all this information, you've got all your brand colours, you've got your typeface, then you know then you've got that document to refer to, and it's just going to be consistent across all your platforms, your social media, your website, your packaging, all of that kind of stuff. And then just one other thing you can consider is having a lighter shade version of your main colours. So in my particular brand, I've got 3 main colours, and then I've got a lighter version of each, just in case. And then I've got the white version and the black version. So 4 to 5 colours is okay for your brand. I've got 3 plus the 3 lighter shades, whatever you think suits. Have your logo, just 1 or 2 colours, and then add to those colours for your brand. And this is what I was just saying a second ago, full colour logos. You can, excuse me, my throat's getting all croaky. just have the one colour version or maybe a 2-colour version for certain products that you'll be printing on. And as mentioned earlier, your document will also include the font, which is your typeface. And again, it's just all about being consistent. So if you've got this brand document, you've got your logo, you've got your variations of your logo, you've got the square version, you've got the rectangle version, and it just all needs putting in a simple Word document, so you've got it there for reference. These couple of charts, this was up on the AOE Facebook group actually not long ago. This one and this one really just talks about the psychology of colour. This is something you can refer to if you're not at that stage of actually choosing which colours you're going to go for. So you've got that one there, talks about all the different psychologies behind the colours, and there's a link there as well which goes more into the psychology of the colour for your reference. So here's the links that I was talking about earlier. So this first one is it's a website. It's got over 30 popular brands on there and their branding information. So be a great document for you to flick through, get some ideas where you want to take your logo, where you want to take your brand. If you haven't yet got a logo, Graphic River has got some stock logos there. Obviously, there's licensing requirements in there as to how you use it, how often you can use it. And the thing about Graphic River is also that other people can actually purchase the same logo. It's just got your own brand name as opposed to theirs. Otherwise, you can use people like from Fiverr, Upwork, or even Airtasker to do a logo for you, but you just have to be very specific with the information that you give them, so you get what you want, and otherwise you'll be just going backwards and forwards with revision after revision. And some more sites here giving you some information with regards to colour combinations. And there's the Pantone website, which has got all your Pantone numbers in there. And I believe in the Pantone website, you can get the hex number equivalent. So that would be in that particular file there. And then just, like I said, I didn't really have a lot of time to go into fonts, but again, there's a couple of sites there, both on Canva with regards to working on your fonts and your font pairing. And that is it.
Very, very cool. I love that. Thank you so much, Tracy. I've got a couple of questions coming in. If you've got a question for Tracy, type it in there now. David Clough says, can you go back to the slide where you show the new Amazon logo for us? It's actually something that a lot of people actually miss, but it's so David says, have you ever noticed that the Amazon logo, the smile, that'll do, where you just were, so you can see down in the bottom corner, so the smile goes from A to Z, and that's something that Amazon clearly has done, because everything about the Amazon website is everything from A to Z, and they've got a smile from A to Z. So that's cool. That's a great little observation there, David. Hayden says, Tracy, is it more expensive to print the more colors you use in your logo?
Yes. And I mean, when you look at something digitally printed like your business cards and stuff like that, then no, because that'd be classed as a full color print. But if you get in a logo printed, say for instance on a drink bottle, then yes, the more colors you go for, the more expensive it will be. And it's the same, I believe, if you're printing on your cardboard packaging. I know recently one of my suppliers said it'd be more expensive if I went with a 2-color version as opposed to a 1-color version. So yes, you just bear that in mind. That's why in here I suggest having some 1-color versions as part of your brand, because in some instances it is it is just as good to have that one colour version on there.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, lots of people saying they love you being the team leader for the Battle of the Businesses, Tradie.
We're having an absolute ball, I tell you.
You guys are doing really, really well. All right, I'm going to make
Yeah,
me the presenter for that.
all good.
Show you this window. I want to show you one little thing that I find is really, really useful. Tracy, a massive thank you, honey. I'm going to mute you now.
No worries.
All right. So one little tool that I repeatedly use when I am thinking about my brand assets and putting together a brand document, because I am not at all a visually creative person. My lovely, lovely wife is, but I didn't get those genes from my family. So I use this, which is coolors.co. So COOLORS. I use this when I'm putting together a color palette for whatever we're doing. So when, for instance, for this battle of the, for this inner circle thing here, which we're doing in November, so this upcoming thing, I use this to create the color palette for my slides, for instance. I use it for my brand documents. I use it for heaps and heaps of different stuff. It works really, really well. You start with either a color that you want, and then you find matching colors for that, complementary colors for it, or it will just generate for you a palette of colors that you can then use. So that's been very, very cool for me. I've really, really got a lot of value out of that. And just little things like that will make a massive difference to your presentation when you're doing stuff.
Hey, Neil here. Just before you go away, that was a question that I got asked on my regular Monday night Q&A session, which I have with the members of the Aussie Online Entrepreneurs. So if you're interested in joining us as an Aussie Online Entrepreneurs, then you can click on the link below to find out a lot more about that. And also, as a special thank you for watching this video, I've got a great book that I want to give you for free. It's a current bestseller on Amazon, and it teaches you everything that you would need to know about starting a business here in Australia on Amazon. So you can see that just up there. So if you'd like to get a copy of that for free, then again, just click on the link below and you'll get a copy of that. You'll get taken to a page where you can get a copy of that for absolutely free. Hope you enjoyed that little snippet from one of my Aussie Online Entrepreneur Q&A sessions, and make sure that you subscribe to my channel and also like this video. And if you've got a question that you would like answering, then post it in the comments below, and I'll do my best to answer it, whether on one of these videos for you or directly in the comments directly below. All right, thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time on the next of the Aussie Online Entrepreneurs Amazon FBA Australia videos. See you soon.